The Deer Agency specializes in helping you understand your coverage before you need it. We offer all lines of personal and commercial insurance, including auto, home, and life. Contact Dawn Deer at 210-507-2169 and visit us at 7529 North Loop 1604 in Live Oak, Texas, or farmersagent.com/ddeer.
Are you pregnant and alone? You have options. The Sanctuary of Hope offers expectant mothers ages 12 to 22 a place to live, medical care, counseling, continued education, and options to raise your baby in a loving environment or help you with adoption. We want to help provide you and your baby with a bright future. Call us or email us today and let's walk through this together. 210-499-1554 or sohcares.org. All inquiries are confidential.
I Am Refocused Radio is brought to you by Documation, service that serves. Technology solutions to keep you moving forward. Visit nation.com today. You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shemaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shemaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again, and we have a returning guest on this show today. We have the Executive Director of the San Antonio Riverwalk Association, Miss Maggie Thompson. And I just want to welcome her back to the show and say, how are you doing today?
Well, thank you, Shemai, for having me. I always love being here. Doing great.
It's not a stranger to anybody right now with COVID-19 and all the safety measures. All businesses have to meet now, and individuals as well. I want to ask, how are things going downtown at the Riverwalk?
Sure. Well, of course, the Riverwalk is the number one tourist destination in the state of Texas. So people love coming here. It's not been nearly as crowded in summers past. We don't have nearly the same number of folks, but it's been a steady stream and gets quite a few folks when the sun goes down, and then on weekends. We get a lot of people asking what's open, or even if the Riverwalk is open, and it's always open. It's a public park, and it's open 24/7. We have a brand new website we launched. It's called the San Antonio Riverwalk.com. So it's the San Antonio Riverwalk.com, and it lists restaurants that are open, hotels that are open, and you can click on those businesses, and it'll take you to their individual website pages and give you more information about them. So that's been a really helpful tool for folks that come down and just want to go to our website and find out what's open. But for the majority, I would say about 60 to 70% of the restaurants are open, and we're at the point where maybe 70% of hotels are open.
Someone listening right now who lives in San Antonio, or people who are interested in traveling to San Antonio in the future, that is really great news, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people would probably also want to know what kind of safety measures are in place. Are there certain rules that each business has individually, or is there a uniform safety measure for the Riverwalk downtown?
Yeah. Oh, that's such a great question, because what we've learned is that safety is one of the most important things people look for, that they want to make sure where they go that the hotels are clean and they're practicing distancing and that they're doing extra cleaning measures in the rooms. And every hotel, number one, has their own company policies that make sure it's clean and sanitized. And then we go above and beyond that. We have a program called Riverwalk Safe, where all of the businesses down the Riverwalk ascribe to certain protocols to make sure their businesses are safe. The restaurants and the hotels meet a certain criteria that the city puts out, a little bit above and beyond that. One really cool thing we have, we call them Centro Ambassadors. It's a group of folks employed employed through the city, basically, that clean the Riverwalk, and they hand clean benches and railings and mist doorknobs at night while everybody's sleeping. And so we have the cleanest Riverwalk we've ever had.
And with that group, are y'all still in need of individuals to help y'all, or y'all pretty much have that covered?
Well, they're employed through Centro, which is it's kind of a public-private organization, and the ambassadors, I'm not quite sure how many they employ. They employ a lot, and they send out teams every day to clean and sanitize the Riverwalk. So I think it's a paid position, so I think we're good with that.
So when people are going downtown, and obviously we're doing social distancing, how is that also being in play when people are downtown at the Riverwalk? Yeah,
those are good questions. Since so many of the restaurants have patios, people getting to eat outside is wonderful, and they follow the state guidelines of the tables have to be a certain distance apart, and there can only be a certain number of people at the table. They will not let people in without masks. You don't have to wear a mask if you're walking around on the Riverwalk, but if you go into a business, you do have to wear a mask. That's a state requirement, and the restaurants are enforcing it, and so we think they're going to relax a little bit of those requirements in a few coming weeks because the COVID rates are going down. They just want to see how things go over Labor Day. And if that happens, what that means is maybe they'll be able to populate a few more tables in the restaurants.
And are there ways where people can go to the new website, the SanAntonioRiverwalk.com, to check for any updates?
For safety updates, we do have our Riverwalk. You can click on Riverwalk Safe.
Okay.
And it will show you those criteria that each business is practicing. And for the restaurants themselves, some of them do, if you click on the restaurant, some of them do list their safety protocols. Almost all the hotels list their safety protocols. And they would update those. So they would be updated.
That's great news for San Antonio. Anybody who is planning to come to San Antonio to check out the amazing Riverwalk, because it is so special in this city. What are some new innovative ways you and your team have been pushing the Riverwalk, making people aware?
Yeah, it's a fine line, right? We want people to come down to the businesses, but we don't want crowds. The city wants to protect visitors. They want to protect locals. And so it's kind of a fine line. So what we've done is our events that draw lots and lots of people, large crowds, we have decided not to hold most of those throughout the fall. Instead, we're planning to do other things. One thing that is coming up is we're going to offer kayaking, because when you kayak, you're not right up next to somebody, you're spread out. So that will be in place probably within the next 2 weeks. We'll start offering yoga classes where people can spread out on mats. We're thinking about doing a virtual 3 to 5K run on the Riverwalk where there's a route and people can run anytime. It's not just like they start. It's a virtual run where they don't start at the same time. They could run on a Tuesday or they could run on a Thursday. So that's kind of a cool thing too. And so that brings people down to enjoy it because it's so beautiful. It's so lush, but it doesn't bring crowds. So we're being really innovative.
And once again, you're listening to Am Refocused Radio, talking to Maggie Thompson, the Executive Director of the San Antonio Riverwalk Association. Quick question. There is also the famous boat ride downtown at the Riverwalk. Mm-hmm. Is that still available for the public? And what are the new safety measurements for that?
Yeah. Oh, gosh, Shamaya, that's probably the number one question we get. We get about 100 phone calls a day to our office. And number one, people want to know if the Riverwalk is open, if businesses are open, and if the boats are open. Yes. And it's called Go Rio Cruises. They have their own website. They are open, and yes, they've modified. Usually a tour boat can hold up to 30 people, but they are limited now to 10, and they ask those riders, to wear a mask. And then after each boat ride, a crew comes out and sanitizes the railings and the seats, and before the next group gets on. So definitely have modifications. So if you go to their site, Go Rio Cruises, then you can see what times that they offer the rides. They start at 2:00 during weekdays. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they start at noon. And then they go through 9 p.m. each night.
And for those who are listening and you may never heard of the Riverwalk, maybe you're listening outside San Antonio area, let's backtrack a little bit and talk a little bit about the history of this Riverwalk, because The Riverwalk is a treasure for South Texas. So for those who are not aware of the Riverwalk, Ms. Maggie, tell the audience a little bit about the history of how important it is for the city.
Oh, it's got such a fun history. You know, it was the idea was conceived by an architect named Robert Hugman in the early 1920s. The river downtown flooded all of downtown. A bunch of people died, and they wanted to just cement over the part in downtown and block it so that it wouldn't flood downtown anymore. And some ladies marched on City Hall and said, no, we love Robert Hugman's idea to make it a place where people can shop and eat and stay in hotels. And it took a long time for that to happen. You know, this was in the early 1920s. And finally, you know, the Great Depression happened. And during the Great Depression in the 1930s, Roosevelt made available some money called WPA, Works Progress Administration money. And they built the Riverwalk for about $400,000, and it was completed in 1941. And then it just grew and grew. It wasn't real populated with businesses until we had Hemisphere. And in 1968, we had 8 businesses on the Riverwalk. And then Hemisphere happened, and it just grew and grew and grew to what it is today. Again, the number one tourist attraction in the state. Beautiful place. People love coming to the Riverwalk. We also have a Facebook page. We love people to go to our Facebook page, the San Antonio Riverwalk, and like us. And you can just find out about beautiful places to go, events, restaurants, hotels, wonderful, beautiful pictures of our holiday events, our holiday lights. So we love being able to promote it through Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest. We're on everything.
And for those listening right now, if you want to learn from just all the history, you can go to the SanAntonioRiverwalk.com/about/our-history. And it has a cool timeline from the top of the page, and you scroll down, it just goes through the whole years of different history moments. And if you want to share with your, kids, you have a family, or share with your friends, it'll be a good educational piece right now with everyone staying home. But after you read that and check out the website, go downtown. Don't be shy. Go downtown and check out the Riverwalk, because safe distance, wear your mask, follow the rules, but have fun. Because Maggie Thompson, once again, when we are seeing people excited about new opportunities, I mean, we have seen businesses use different ways to market themselves, different ways to do safe deliveries and separate people if they're coming indoors and having limits on that. What inspires you the most when you see the businesses at the Riverwalk still operate, but also being innovative during these difficult times?
I love your questions today, especially being able to promote the history. I'm going to address that real fast because we have a great video. I think on our website, there's a video. It goes to YouTube about Robert Hugman, and I think it's 10 or 15 minutes. We actually have placed that in the San Antonio schools as part of their history curriculum. So I love the fact that you had brought that in about bringing your kids and look at that, because it's just kind of fascinating. What inspires me downtown is the tenacity of the business owners, because so many of them could not open their restaurants for a while and could not open their bars for a while, and their hotels had just a handful of visitors, but they've stuck in there. They have followed the rules. They have taken care of their staff. Oh my gosh, they love their staff. And they've made it through. The majority of them have made it through. Hardly, I would say maybe a couple of businesses maybe have folded, but who knows what the reason was. So most of the businesses have made it through. Most of them have been so innovative, changing their menu, offering new items. And it's just, rehiring staff. It's been very great to watch the tenacity and the strength that these business owners have. One thing that's kind of fun about the Riverwalk, though, that I hadn't thought to mention, is that it is dog friendly, and you can bring your dogs down as long as they're friendly and on a leash and eat outside and have your dog there. So we've seen quite a few more people bringing their pets when they come in. I don't know whether it's because they visit from other cities and they just want to bring their pets or what, but we've just seen more of that. So I want to mention that we welcome that family member.
And once again, you listen to Am Refocused Radio, talking to Ms. Maggie Thompson, all about the Riverwalk today. You all have a event that is coming in October, Zulala, A Taste of San Antonio 2020. Is that still going to happen for us? And if so, what can people expect? Yeah,
the zoo, we have a lot of partners, and the zoo is one of our partners. They are not on the Riverwalk directly, but a portion of the river, it's kind of where the headwaters of the river start. We love promoting the zoo, and they promote us. I am not 100% sure of whether that event's going to happen or not, but the zoo works really, really hard to make sure that everything is safe and clean at the zoo and people feel safe when they go. So if they have it, then I would go to the zoo website to see if it's still on the books.
And people are listening to this right now and they're learning, number one, about the Riverwalk, and number two, about the safety measures that are in place. Mm-hmm. When people are coming, what would you recommend them to do while they're there?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned. Since I told you we've got a brand new website, the San Antonio Riverwalk.com, we have placed on there a new trip planner. It is the coolest thing. So you put in the dates you'll be here, and then by category, maybe you want to look through restaurants, and it'll show you restaurants, and you click on the ones that you're interested in, or you'll click on hotels you're interested in, or you'll click on any maybe events that might be happening, and it will create an itinerary for you during the time you're here. So that's a wonderful way to find out what's going on and to plan your trip ahead of time. And it gives you locations, and you can print that itinerary out, and you're kind of ahead of the game. You don't have to do all this research while you're here. It does it for you. So that's one great way to do it. We love our trip planner. The other thing you can do, we publish a magazine called Rio Magazine, and it's free, and you find it probably at most of the businesses, at hotels and at restaurants and at stores, and you can just grab a copy of that. It has coupons in the back of it for different venues for restaurants and events, and maybe hotel. Well, I don't know that hotels, but mainly restaurants or maybe tourist attractions down on the Riverwalk. So that's wonderful. But we offer Rio Magazine, an electronic version, online. So if you don't find it while you're here, you can find the coupons in each issue online, and it tells you. It has great stories in there and highlights businesses and what makes them special and interesting facts about things to do in San Antonio. Kind of really all over San Antonio, not just the Riverwalk.
And there's also, for events that you all do, there's also opportunities for volunteers. Touch on that for the audience. How can volunteers get involved with your organization and help y'all during events?
Well, on our website, when we, in a regular non-COVID year, when we have events, you can sign up to be a volunteer. We have a page on there to volunteer, and you just can sign up. And what we'll do when we have an event, we'll send out to all the people who signed up, hey, this event's coming up. This is what it's about. If you're interested in volunteering, click here. And that's how they would sign up for events. One of the questions we get a lot are the holiday lights going to be up? We usually turn the holiday lights on the day after Thanksgiving. They light up the entire Riverwalk, and we have a huge holiday parade. Well, we're still not sure whether we're having the holiday parade. We're going to make that call in probably about 2 or 3 weeks. We're just seeing how things are going. And we usually use a lot of volunteers for that. And the nice thing about the volunteers is you're not all crowded together. Everybody is kind of spread out, taking tickets at gates, helping set up chairs, things like that. So that's a wonderful volunteer opportunity, and we need volunteers for that. Again, we're not sure if we're going to have the holiday parade. We're still holding out as long as we can.
Another thing that is very popular here in San Antonio is Fiesta medals. And I know you all have officially made some 2020 Fiesta medals, and they can actually go to the website and go to the store and buy them. Is that still available?
Yes, it is on our website, the SanAntonioRiverwalk.com. There is our store. You can purchase T-shirts, tourist items, souvenirs, and our Fiesta medal is on there. It's so cute. It has our Riverwalk duck on there. His name is Timmy Duckin, kind of in honor of our spur, Tim Duncan, but he's Timmy Duckin. And Tim was very cool with that and kind of honored that we named our mascot that. So it's got the medal's cool. We love our Fiesta medal. I have to give you one, Shemaya. If I haven't, I'm sorry. I need to get you a Fiesta medal.
Well, I'm going to have to make my way down to the Riverwalk. So just like I will plan on doing that in the future, I want to invite all of San Antonio, anyone who's listening right now who's interested in visiting San Antonio, make sure you stop by the Riverwalk. And you want more information about the Riverwalk, go to San Antonio, the SanAntonioRiverwalk.com. And before time runs out, also you have this thing called royalty. And I know you know a whole lot about that. Tell the audience about this special part of the Riverwalk.
Gosh, our royalty are so important to us. Years ago, they used to drain the river, and it was really muddy. And they started having a mud king and queen and kind of a little festival during when you couldn't do anything because the river was drained. And then they decided they didn't need to drain it every year. And so I think about 2014 or 15, it changed into just to regular Riverwalk royalty. And so royalty, they raise money, and in order to be the king or the queen, whoever raises the most money gets to be king or queen. And then we have prince and duke and count, or countess or duchess. And so it's all fundraising driven, and all that money goes to our nonprofit called Friends of the Riverwalk, which we're getting ready to do a major fundraiser for Friends of the Riverwalk. Since we've not been able to have events and get revenue, we're going to do a major fundraiser. But our royalty is wonderful. They represent us at every event, and actually they go do other things in the city, like go to hotels and visit to hospitals and visit kids, things like that.
When people are listening right now, there's a lot of people who have gone through a whole lot. There's a lot of businesses who have gone through a whole lot. Let's take a moment right now to give them some word of encouragement. You as a leader in this city of San Antonio, what would you offer to people, especially entrepreneurs who might be going through some difficult times? What words of wisdom will you give to them as they are pushing through these days?
Well, what I've noticed is new opportunities that come out of this, business opportunities of things virtual, or we have a business owner who's wanting to use spaces under the bridges on the Riverwalk. He's wanting to expand his business to places that are not conventional. So one piece of advice is look for non-conventional opportunities. And then find free places to do things for people that are safe, that are at home and they're stir crazy. So coming to the Riverwalk just to take a walk. Gosh, get your kids out, do bike share and ride your bikes down here. So there are so many opportunities to do free things that help you cope with some of the stressful times. So new opportunities and get out of your house a little bit for safe things. And we're safe.
Once again, you listen to Am Refocused Radio, talking to Maggie Thompson, Executive Director of the San Antonio Riverwalk Association. When you are building, basically you're helping business build downtown. When you are seeing the growth, when you're seeing the comeback, when you're seeing how people are not allowing this setback keep them there, what would you like to see grow in the future for the San Antonio Riverwalk?
Well, one thing that already is growing, because we've had to cancel large-scale events, we've come up with new opportunities. And like I mentioned before, maybe having yoga, having kayaking on our Riverwalk. So I love that we're coming up with new ideas to bring people down to enjoy it in a very safe way. So I love the new ideas that are coming out. And the other thing that's been really cool is businesses and associations like the Hotel Association or the San Antonio Visitor, the used to be Convention Bureau, but it's called Visit San Antonio. We're all really coming together to work together to streamline things and make things better. So those opportunities have been wonderful. Our communication, our working together, that is really going to strengthen everything on the Riverwalk and San Antonio itself, especially the tourism industry.
And those listening right now, if you are just like, man, after this show, I'm going downtown. Well, if you want to learn about anything else that is going before you head out the house, go to thesanantonioriverwalk.com. Again, that's thesanantonioriverwalk.com. And once again, we have been talking to Maggie Thompson, the executive director of the San Antonio Riverwalk Association. First and foremost, I want to take the time to say thank you for just clearing your schedule to talk to Am Refocused Radio, because I know you're super busy. I know your team is super busy. I want to say thank you on behalf of the city of San Antonio for all you do, not just for the city, but for the businesses here that are giving great people in this city a time to have fun, a time to get educated, and just have a good time with family.
Oh, Shemaya, thank you for having me and giving me the opportunity to promote such a beautiful, iconic, wonderful place in San Antonio. We're lucky we live here and get to experience it and promote it, and I appreciate your being a part of that.
Well, once again, this is Am Refocused Radio, and if you want to learn more information, you want to learn about more events, you want to do some yoga, if you want to just find out what is going on with local businesses that are at the San Antonio Riverwalk, or if you just want to see Maggie Thompson, go to thesanantonioriverwalk.com, thesanantonioriverwalk.com. Like we say on every single show, keep God first, stay focused, and peace. Stay safe, San Antonio.
Thanks for listening to I Am Refocused Radio, brought to you by Documation. Documation is a full-service technology solutions company that provides IT, print, and software managed services. Headquartered in San Antonio, Documation has been serving customers across Texas for nearly 30 years. Visit Mation.com today. Hi, San Antonio. Need a barber? Visit our good friend Rico Rodriguez, the owner of Rockafellas Barbershop in San Antonio, Texas, 1733 Babcock Road, and book your appointment today by calling 210-782-5188.